Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Amber. So today we're going to be talking about all of the books that I have given 5 stars since I started reading again a year ago. So let's just get right into this. It was about the end of April last year that I picked up the ACOTAR series. I had been seeing it quite often. I really wanted to get back into reading. I've always enjoyed fantasy books, so I was like, you know what? Let's just pick this up. The first one I did not give 5 stars, but A Court of Mist and Fury. This book is what sent me into the spiral of just loving reading again. I know that most people, this is the book often that I see and hear people saying that, oh, this got them back into reading or this made them enjoy fantasy books. It definitely got me back into reading. I have reread this series 5 times now. I want to reread it again, even though I'm in middle of rereading A Court of Silver Flames. This book is everything. I love this book. The next one that I gave 5 stars, no surprise, A Court of Wings and Ruin. I loved this book. This one definitely is a very, very close tie with A Court of Mist and Fury. I thought that the fighting in this book was really good. I was never bored when I was reading this. It had pretty much every single aspect of fantasy that I enjoy wrapped into this one. The next one that I gave 5 stars to is A Court of Silver Flames. I know a lot of people either don't pick this book up, they don't want to read it just because Nesta, or they just don't enjoy it as much because they don't like Nesta's character. But honestly, she is one of my favorite characters. I think that this is a very good redemption story for her, and I overall will always recommend reading this one. 5 stars for this one too. I got into Throne of Glass next. The first book in this series that I gave 5 stars was Heir of Fire. This one is where we get to meet Rowan. So, of course, it gets 5 stars. I loved this book. I thought it was so good. And then also, I gave Queen of Shadows 5 stars. I'm not going to lie, because it's been a while since I've read this series. I remember really enjoying Heir of Fire and Queen of Shadows. And I will stick to my 5 stars that I gave to them. But I don't remember much about the books other than, obviously, Rowan in this one. Meeting him, seeing him and Aelin fighting. That one was super enjoyable. I don't remember a ton from this book. If you asked me what this was about, I probably couldn't tell you, which maybe that's a sign that I should go back and not give it 5 stars, but I'm going to keep it 5 stars. The next one that I gave, and probably my favorite book in the whole entire series, Empire Storms. I loved this book. I thought this book was the best one out of the whole entire series. I remember the ending of this book, the last 100 pages. I ended up staying up until 4 in the morning to finish this book. I would get to the end of the chapter and I would just go, okay, just one more chapter. I just need to read one more chapter. It kept going until 4 in the morning. I loved this book. Next one, no surprise, Kingdom of Ash. This one's a close to Empire Storms for enjoying it, but I think the thing that ruined it for making this my favorite one was that I took a break halfway through this book and went to reading other books. So by the time I got back to reading this, I remember I kind of got in a slump in the middle of it because I was just binging this series like it was my job. As soon as I would get done with one, I would move on to the next. And I think that staying in this world for so long kind of burnt me out. So I remember taking a break, and by the time I came back to it, I kind of just didn't even want to read any more of it. I really was at the mindset of I just need to find out what happens. I remember that the last chunk, I would really say close to the last half, I started really enjoying it. We obviously get the conclusions. So I regret putting it down because I really think that this would have been my favorite book had I not taken a break. So still 5 stars because it is phenomenal, but not my favorite in the series. Next up, we have the Folk of the Air series. The first 2 books I only gave 4 stars. I think I might have given 4.5 to The Wicked King, but I gave The Queen of Nothing 5 stars. This one is easily my favorite one out of the whole entire series. I really enjoyed this one. I thought the first book was a little slow. I didn't really like a handful of the characters. When it would be focusing on them, I really was just getting bored. The second one picked up definitely. This third one, was so good. I really enjoyed this. This book alone makes me want to go back and read the whole entire series. The next series that I went into was From Blood and Ash. I'm going to put this in here, but I gave 5 stars to the first book, From Blood and Ash. I honestly, thinking back on this, I don't know if I would still keep it at a 5 stars. The more I think about this series, I like the plot. I love Castile. Poppy's okay, for being honest. Most of the characters are just okay to me. I don't know if Jennifer L. Armentrout's writing is for me. I think it's very slow. There are too many points where I'm so bored in these books that I just debate on whether I should even keep reading them. When they're good, they're good. When they're boring, it about puts me to sleep. So honestly, I remember feeling like that a lot in this book. So I don't know if I would go back and give this 5 stars. I probably would give this like 3.5 or 4. I think I just had convinced myself that I liked this book because I spent so long reading it. It was a weird mindset. The ending I liked, and I think that kind of just like put me on this hype train of, yeah, this is actually really good. The second book, on the other hand, I did really enjoy Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. This one I would keep 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I thought this one is about the only book in the series that I've read so far that I didn't think that most of what happened was just unnecessary and pointless. I still don't know if I'm going to finish the series. So this one's going to keep its 5 star. I did really enjoy this one. I don't know if I really would recommend the series as a whole though, because I do think that the writing is just too slow. Moving on. The next book that I read, which I'll put here because I read it on Kindle Unlimited, was The Serpent and the Wings of Night. Now, I did just do a reading vlog of The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. Did not get 5 stars. It was good. It was very good. Still recommend the series as a whole. The Serpent and the Wings of Night, though, I loved. I am obsessed with that book. It is 5 stars through and through. It gave me the same feeling for that book that I had the first time I read ACOTAR. I was obsessed. I could not put the book down. I think I finished it in like 2 or 3 days. I just wish that I would have felt the same way about The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. Keeping on that, though, I did give the novella, Six Scorched Roses, 5 stars. Again, the same feeling as ACOTAR. I was obsessed with that novella. For it being set on different characters that were not in the first book, I could not put that down. I finished it in a day. It was so good. It was 200 pages, I think, somewhere around there, and I loved those characters. I don't think I've ever read a novella where I've actually cared for the characters the way that I did with this one. Carissa Broadbent definitely has a way with writing, just like SJM, where I don't think that the books are unnecessarily hyped up. They deserve all the hype that they get. They're so good. The next one that I read was A Forbidden Fate by Kaven Herning. I hope that's how you say her name. I was following her on TikTok for all her ACOTAR content that she was making, and she came out with this book. I pre-ordered it off of Amazon. Her second book actually comes out super soon, and I am so excited to read that because this book is phenomenal. I love this book. I read it in like 3 days. It is so good. I highly recommend, if you have not read this, to pick this up. The fact that the 2 main characters can't touch or else they'll die. Do I need to say anything more? No, I don't. You need to pick this up. Okay, next book we have is, I read this one on Kindle Unlimited also. It's Their Vicious Darlings. It's the 3rd book in the Vicious Lost Boys series, and it's by Nikki St. Crow. These books are shorter books, so they're really easy to get through quickly. It is a Peter Pan retelling, throwing a lot of smut in there. It's a whole lot of smut, and it is so good. Highly recommend the series. There was not a single book in that series that got less than, I believe, 4.5 stars. I'm almost positive I gave the first 2 4.5, and then this 3rd one got the 5 stars. Go read it if you haven't. It's so good. If you like smut, pick it up. It is good. The next one was a ARC that I got on Kindle, and it was Heartsworn, and that one is by Sia Petrichor. That one I gave 5 stars. I'm reading my reviews because I have a hard time. Like, I'll remember really enjoying the book, but I have a hard time remembering, like, exactly my thought process behind why I liked them, so I have to read my reviews that I had wrote. This one was like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it was really good. There are quite a few trigger warnings, so I would check those out before you get this, but there is spice in it, which was very well written. I really enjoyed everything about this. I do remember that there were quite a few plot twists that I really did not expect coming towards the end. But overall, that one was definitely an enjoyable read. The next one was Autumn of the Grimoire by J.L. Vampa. And I'm not gonna lie, the only reason that I picked this book up was because I had seen it on Instagram and the starting of each chapter. I'm not kidding, that's literally the only reason that I picked it up. And I'm really glad that I did, because this book was so good. There's the next one is already out, and it was Winter of the Wicked is the second book. I have not picked that one up yet. I plan on reading that more towards like the fall. The main character, I loved her character as a whole. Like, there really was nothing about her that I didn't enjoy reading. The main male character in this, Grimm, them together, chef's kiss. The ending, I do remember, had quite a bit going on that I was not expecting, which had me staying up late. Again, one more chapter status. So this series is like based off of the 4 seasons. Like, each sister gets the grimoire for that season, and whatever is in this grimoire they have to do. So like, Aggie is the Autumn Witch. She kind of has this dark past with the grimoire where it's given her where she's killing kings, you know, she's burning down whole entire villages. She is starting wars where all of her sisters get nothing but like carrying out peace. There's nothing dark or bad that they have had to do in the past. And so she ends up getting her grimoire again, and this time it's telling her that she has to go marry the prince in this village, and she has to play the part of a peasant who has been accepted by these higher ups. And so she ends up finding herself in a war against classes. So you have enemies to lovers, you have forced marriage, forced proximity. This book is so good. I highly recommend this. I think this might have been one of my favorite reads of last year. It was definitely up there. The last book that I gave 5 stars to since I have started reading again last year is A Kingdom of Blood and Betrayal by Holly Renee. This is the second book in the Stars and Shadows series. I don't want to give away any spoilers, so I'm just going to give kind of like the brief from the first book. These do have trigger warnings, so check those before you do start reading this also. In the first one, you're following Adara, who is considered star-blessed, which are just these markings that she is born with, and the star-blessed are considered to be who's gonna save this kingdom. So you have the human realm, and then you have the Fae realm, and Adara is being forced to marry the crown prince. And it's written in the fates that her marrying the crown prince is going to be what saves this kingdom. I'll read you guys the synopsis of this, of the first book. I am told my union to the crown prince will determine the fate of the kingdom, but it isn't my betrothed who haunts my dreams. It's the half-breed prince who stands at his side. He is darkness and sin, and when he whispers promises of wickedness in my ear, I crave a man who I can't have. Every thought I have is treasonous, the way my hands ache to touch him deceitful. Even my dreams make me a traitor to the kingdom I am sworn to protect. But when the kingdom is attacked, I am forced to make choices I'm not prepared for. Our lies and deception are entangled in the shadows and stars, and as they unravel, so shall my fate. Betray a kingdom or betray my heart. So I think I gave 4.5 stars to this first book. I enjoyed it, but there was just kind of something missing. But the second book, you really get more of that enemies to lovers. There's a lot of smut in all of these books, which definitely adds to it. They're just good. They're short, so obviously you're not getting like a ton of world building. Things go very quickly in these books, which to me I liked, because with fantasy, there's so many chunky books out there that sometimes I just want shorter books. If you're looking for a fantasy series where they're not super chunky books, like this is all 3. This is the whole series right here. They're not super chunky. There's smut in them. There's the enemies to lovers. We can't be together. There's a lot of action going on. I definitely recommend this series. I think the series as a whole is really good. I don't think I gave any of them less than 4.5 stars. Plus, these covers, like, these are all the discreet covers. There's other covers, but I think that the discreet covers look so good. Thank you guys so much for watching. So those are all of the books that I have given 5 stars since I started reading a year ago again. Let me know down in the comments if you have read any of these, what your thoughts are, what your feelings are about them. If there's any other books that are similar to any of these that you guys really enjoy, please throw them down in the comments. Also, I would love to get more books like this that are super enjoyable to read. That is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.